All right. So today, let's dive deep into something that I think everyone listening can probably relate to,
Yeah.
and that's crushing that debt, you know?
Yeah.
Get into financial freedom.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah.
You sent over some articles from Investopedia and Experian,
Yep.
and they're comparing these two popular methods for paying off debt,
Yes.
the debt avalanche and the debt snowball.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I've always been a little fuzzy on the details,
Sure.
so I'm really excited to kind of unpack these with you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's easy to get the two confused
Yeah.
because they both have that same goal,
Uh-huh.
to become debt-free faster.
Right.
But they use very, very different approaches to do it.
Okay, so walk me through it.
Okay.
Let's start with the avalanche.
Sure.
What's the logic there?
So the debt avalanche is all about efficiency.
Okay.
It's like a laser-focused attack on that debt that is costing you the most in interest.
Okay.
You prioritize the debt with the highest APR,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how big or small the balance is.
Okay, so it's that interest rate.
It's the interest rate.
It's the thing that's like the weed in your garden that's just growing out of control.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where you want to
Focus.
really focus your energy
Yeah.
to kill that weed.
Makes sense.
And Investopedia gives us a really good example here.
Okay.
So they're comparing somebody who has, let's say, $5,000 in credit card debt at 15% APR.
Okay. Big credit card bill.
Yep. Yep. And then a $3,000 car loan at 6% APR
Okay.
and a $10,000 student loan at 4% APR.
Got it.
So using that avalanche method, focusing on that highest interest rate first,
Mhm.
you could save about $500 in interest
Whoa.
compared to other methods.
$500. That's not nothing.
Yeah, no, that's significant.
So why isn't everybody just doing this then?
Right.
If it's like so mathematically sound.
Well, I think you have to think about it this way. If your highest interest debt also happens to be your biggest,
Okay.
like that $5,000 credit card bill,
Yeah.
it might take a while to see significant progress.
Right.
You're chipping away at this big thing,
Mm-hmm.
while those smaller loans with the lower interest rates just kind of sit there.
Yeah, and that's where it gets like psychologically a little bit hard
Right.
because it's like I just want to see something go away.
Yeah, you want that quick win.
Yes, exactly. So this sounds like it's like for a certain personality type,
Yeah,
the person who is very data driven,
yeah,
they can delay that gratification for
Yes.
the bigger picture down the line.
absolutely.
Okay, so that's the avalanche method. Now on the flip side, we've got the debt snowball.
Yes,
This is the one that I think I'm always more drawn to. Isn't
Yeah.
this the one where you kind of go after the smallest debt first
it is.
to build that momentum?
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
So the debt snowball, it focuses on the smallest debt first, regardless of that interest rate.
Okay.
So you knock it out quickly,
Uh-huh.
you get that sense of accomplishment, and then you use that momentum to keep going.
I love that.
Yeah, it's more about the psychology
Yes.
than it is the math.
It's like those games where you like level up
Yes.
after each like little win.
Exactly.
And then you get that dopamine hit and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one.
Exactly.
Do this.
And Experian, they talk about this.
Okay.
They say that for a lot of people, the snowball method is more sustainable because of that,
That momentum.
that motivation factor.
Yeah.
Seeing those debts disappear keeps people engaged,
Yeah.
and they really stay committed.
It's like they're visually seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that one's gone. What's next?
Totally.
Okay, so Avalanche, you're playing the long game.
Yes.
Snowball, you're getting those short-term wins.
Yes,
But I have to imagine there's got to be a downside to the snowball.
there is,
If you're not always going after that high interest first,
right?
doesn't that end up costing you more in the long run?
You're absolutely right. There's a potential trade-off there.
Yeah.
While you're busy celebrating those smaller victories,
Mm-hmm.
those larger debts with those higher interest rates,
Yeah.
they might be accumulating more interest.
In the background.
Yeah, in the background. So it might not be the most financially efficient option.
Okay, so it seems like both have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
Avalanche, you might save money, but you got to be disciplined.
Right.
Snowball maybe costs a little bit more, but it keeps you motivated.
Yep.
How do you decide what's right for you?
That is the question.
Yeah.
And both Investopedia and Experian say there is no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
The best method really depends on you,
Your own personality,
your personality,
your financial habits.
financial habits.
Yeah, how you respond to motivation.
Exactly. It's like choosing the right hiking trail.
Ooh, I like that.
Some people thrive on those challenging uphill climbs.
Yeah,
Others prefer a more gradual ascent.
with those scenic stops along the way.
Exactly.
I like that a lot.
So you need to consider your own strengths
Mhm.
and preferences
Okay.
when you are deciding which debt repayment strategy to use.
So if you're like super organized,
Yep.
you love data,
Uh-huh.
maybe the Avalanche is your jam.
It could be.
But if you're prone to losing steam,
Yeah.
You need those quick wins.
Yep,
Then the Snowball could be your best friend.
exactly.
All right, so that's the Avalanche and the Snowball.
Hmm.
But you also sent over some stuff on debt consolidation
Yeah.
loans and balance transfer credit cards.
Uh-huh.
Can we dive into those next?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm excited to learn about those.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right, so we've got the Avalanche and the Snowball, but I really want to talk about these other tools in the debt-crushing arsenal that you mentioned.
Okay. Yeah.
Debt consolidation loans and balance transfer credit cards.
Uh-huh.
I have to say, these always feel a little mysterious to me. Can you kind of break those down for me?
Absolutely. So let's start with debt consolidation loans.
Okay,
Imagine you've got a bunch of different debts.
okay.
Maybe credit cards, a personal loan, even a medical bill.
Mm-hmm.
And each one has its own interest rate
Okay,
and minimum payment due each month.
yeah.
A consolidation loan lets you combine all of those debts into
Uh.
one single loan.
So it's like streamlining it.
Exactly.
Kind of like Marie Kondoing your finances.
I love
Get
that.
rid of all the clutter.
Yeah.
Just one neat and tidy payment.
Exactly. And the best part is that you can often get a lower interest rate
Okay.
on that consolidation loan.
Than what you're currently paying.
Yeah, then you're currently paying on all those individual debts,
Especially with the credit cards.
especially with those high-interest credit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this can be a really good way to save money on interest
Okay.
and just simplify that whole repayment process.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I'm guessing there are some catches, right?
Right.
No free lunch,
I know.
especially in the financial world.
Exactly. Yeah. Before you jump into a consolidation loan, it's really crucial to compare interest rates and terms
Okay.
carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the new loan doesn't come with hidden fees
Right.
or a longer repayment term, which could actually end up costing you more.
So you got to do your homework.
Do your homework.
Read that fine print.
Yep.
Make sure it's actually beneficial for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then what about balance transfer credit cards?
Yeah. So balance transfer cards,
They feel very mysterious.
they can be a little bit tricky,
Okay.
but they can also be a really powerful tool for tackling that high interest credit card debt.
Okay.
So essentially what they do
Mhm.
is they offer a 0% APR introductory period,
Okay.
usually for like 12 to 21 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that allows you to transfer balances from your high interest cards
Uh-huh.
and pay them down
Without accruing interest.
without accruing any interest during that time.
So it's like hitting the pause button
exactly
on those interest charges
Yes.
just to give yourself a little breather.
Yeah, that breathing room.
Okay.
Really focus on paying down that principal.
I like it.
Yeah.
But of course, there's got to be some caveats here too, right?
Of course, right.
It's never straightforward in the world of finance.
So balance transfer cards often come with balance transfer fees.
Okay.
Typically, it's a percentage of the amount that you're transferring.
Gotcha.
And once that introductory period ends, that interest rate usually jumps back up.
Okay.
And sometimes it can be even higher than your original rate.
So it's a strategic move.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan.
You need a plan. You got to have discipline.
Yeah, you need to be confident
Yeah.
that you can pay off that balance.
Before that 0% APR expires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a magic wand, but it can be a really valuable tool
Yeah.
when used strategically.
I'm so glad we unpacked those. I
Yeah.
feel like I understand so much more. But it all comes down to having a solid plan, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's Avalanche, Snowball,
Right, right.
any of these other tools.
Yeah.
You got to know where you stand
Yeah.
and then make that plan of attack.
Absolutely. The first step to conquering anything,
Mm-hmm.
especially debt, is understanding your current situation.
Okay.
It's like going on a hike.
Okay. You wouldn't set off without knowing where you're starting,
Yeah.
what kind of terrain you'll be facing,
Okay.
and how long the trail is.
So you're saying we need to do a little financial reconnaissance
You
before
see-
we even get started.
Yes, gather all of your debt information.
Okay.
Loan statements, credit card bills, anything that shows you the balance,
Mm-hmm.
the interest rate,
Mm-hmm.
and the minimum monthly payment.
It's like taking inventory.
It
You
is.
got to know what you're working with.
Yes, you can't fight an enemy you can't see.
Right, exactly.
So once you have a clear picture of your debt landscape,
Yeah.
you can start crafting your strategy.
Okay, so we got our intel.
Yeah.
We've chosen our weapon of choice.
Yes.
Avalanche, Snowball, maybe even a combination approach.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Now, this is where budgeting becomes your superpower.
The dreaded B word.
I know.
It's essential. I know it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just feel like
Yeah.
it's so restrictive.
I get that, but think of it more as a spending plan,
Okay.
not a set of shackles.
Okay. A spending plan.
Yeah. A budget can help you identify where your money's going
Uh-huh.
and then redirect it towards your debt-crushing goals.
So it's about gaining control,
It is.
not punishing yourself,
Yeah.
being intentional with your money,
Exactly.
making it work for you, not against you.
It's about aligning your spending with your values.
Love it.
So the first step is to track your spending
Okay.
for a month or two.
Okay.
Categorize everything, your morning coffee,
Yep.
your groceries, your streaming subscriptions, and Just really see where it's going.
I'm a big fan of like the visual aids.
Yeah.
So like maybe color coding categories
Sure.
or using an app or something like that.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
The key is to be honest with yourself
Okay.
about those spending habits.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have that clear picture,
Mm-hmm.
you can start identifying areas where you can cut back
Okay.
or adjust.
So find those leaks in the financial ship.
Exactly.
Let them.
Okay. Maybe it's bringing your lunch to work instead of eating out every day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's negotiating a lower rate on your internet bill
Right.
or canceling subscriptions that you're not using.
Yeah.
These little adjustments can add up to big savings over time.
It's all about those marginal gains.
Exactly.
Little tweaks, big improvement.
Yeah.
But I have to say, sticking to a budget,
Yeah.
no matter how well crafted it is, can be tough.
It can be.
Life happens.
Yes.
Unexpected expenses come up.
Right.
Willpower sometimes just fails us.
Yes, it does.
How do you stay on track?
So that's where flexibility and the right mindset come in.
Okay.
First, build some wiggle room into your budget
Okay.
for those unexpected costs.
Yeah.
An emergency fund is like a financial shock absorber.
Yes.
It helps you navigate those bumps in the road without veering off course.
So important, those emergency funds.
So important. Yeah, it's peace of mind knowing you've got that safety net.
Absolutely.
And equally important is having the right mindset.
Okay.
Don't beat yourself up if you slip up occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to everyone.
It does.
The key is to acknowledge it,
Yep.
adjust,
Mm-hmm.
and get back on track as quickly as possible.
So progress, not perfect.
Progress, not perfection.
Be kind to yourself.
Yes.
It's a journey, not a sprint.
It's a marathon,
Okay.
and you need to pace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate those small wins along the way.
Okay.
And just keep moving forward.
I love that. Okay, so speaking of celebrating those wins,
Yep.
you mentioned this idea of gamifying debt repayment. I'm
Yeah.
all about that, like making things fun, especially when it comes to finances.
Right.
Which can be so stressful and serious.
Exactly.
What are some ways to do that?
There are some really cool apps and tools out there that can help you do that.
Okay.
Some apps will track your progress visually,
Mm-hmm.
like a debt snowball rolling and growing,
Okay.
or a mountain being conquered with each payment.
I like that.
Yeah, some even have reward systems or challenges
Ooh.
to keep you engaged.
So you're really turning it into a game.
You are.
Which makes it less daunting.
All fun. Exactly. And it really taps into that psychological need
Yeah.
for positive reinforcement.
Totally. Okay, so we've gathered our intel.
Yep.
We've mapped out our strategy.
Uh-huh.
We've embraced the power of budgeting.
Yes.
And we've even added a little gamification
A little bit of fun.
to the mix.
Yeah.
What else do we need to consider on this debt-crushing journey?
So,
Okay, I'm so ready to just tackle my debt after all of that.
yeah.
But I kind of want to shift gears a little bit and talk about like what happens after,
Okay.
you've reached that like glorious
Yes.
debt-free summit.
Yeah. You've planted your flag at the top of the mountain.
Yes.
You're looking out over the landscape. What's next?
What's next exactly? Because paying off debt is huge.
It is.
But it's not like the end of the story, right?
It's not. It's like the beginning of a whole new chapter.
Yes.
It's building a solid financial foundation
Okay.
for a really bright future.
So what are like the essential elements of that world?
So,
Beyond debt, like where do we even begin?
well, first and foremost, it's establishing those healthy financial habits
Okay.
that are going to serve you well for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about building a strong financial house,
Ooh, I like that.
one that can withstand any storm.
Strong walls?
Yes.
A roof that won't leak?
Yes.
What are like the building blocks of that?
So one of the cornerstones is budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
but it's not just a temporary tool for debt repayment.
Okay.
It's a lifelong companion.
So it's more like a trusty GPS
Yes.
than like a restrictive diet.
Okay.
It's about guiding you toward your goals, not depriving you.
Exactly. Think of it as your financial compass.
Okay.
It can help you make those informed decisions about your money
Uh-huh.
and make sure that it's really aligned with your values
Mm-hmm.
and your priorities.
And as life changes.
Yes.
Because it always does.
It always does.
That budget can kind of
Adapt with you.
adapt with you.
It can evolve.
Yes.
As your income changes, as your goals change.
Mm-hmm.
You can modify your spending categories. You can set new savings targets.
So it's a framework,
Yes.
but you're allowed to tweak it
Absolutely.
as life throws those curveballs.
Yes.
Okay, so budgeting is key.
Yeah.
But I know another big piece is saving.
Yes.
What does that look like in that beyond debt world?
So saving is absolutely essential.
Okay.
And we're not just talking about stashing away a few dollars here and there.
Right.
We're talking about creating a multi-layered savings plan
Ooh, okay.
that can protect you from the unexpected
Mm-hmm.
and help propel you towards your dreams.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me about these layers.
All right, so the first layer, and again, we've mentioned that this is your emergency fund.
Yeah.
That is your financial safety net.
Okay.
your buffer against those unexpected events. Job loss, a medical bill, car repairs.
Right.
Ideally, you want to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses
Okay.
tucked away in an easily accessible account.
So that if something happens,
Yes.
you're not reaching for those credit cards.
Exactly.
Or having to like pull money from other savings goals.
Exactly. It's peace of mind, knowing that you've got a cushion.
Love it.
So your emergency fund allows you to really weather those financial storms without derailing your progress.
Okay, so beyond the emergency fund, then what?
So then you're going to want to focus on saving for specific goals,
Okay.
both short-term and long-term.
So short-term is like that vacation down payment on a car.
Yep.
Maybe a new phone.
Exactly.
Things that are a little bit more fun.
Yeah, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Having dedicated savings goals for those things helps you stay motivated.
Uh-huh.
And it keeps you from dipping into that emergency fund.
Right.
Or racking up credit card debt.
It's like giving each goal its own little piggy bank.
It is.
So you're not tempted to like
Exactly.
borrow from this one to put in that one.
Yes.
Okay, what about long-term?
So long-term savings, we're talking about the biggies.
Okay.
Retirement, a down payment on a house, your children's education.
Big stuff.
The big stuff.
Yeah.
Goals that require a longer time horizon.
Okay.
And a more strategic approach. And that's where investing comes in.
Okay. Investing, that's where I start to feel a little intimidated.
Yeah, I understand.
It feels like a whole other world.
It can be.
With its own language,
Yeah.
its own rules.
It can be daunting, but it's a crucial piece of building long-term wealth.
Okay.
The magic of investing really lies in the power of compound interest.
Okay.
It's essentially earning interest on your interest.
Yeah, I've heard they call it like the eighth wonder of the world or something.
Right. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And over time, that can really snowball your savings.
Into something much bigger.
Yes.
But how do you even get started with that?
So there are so many options.
Yeah.
It's important to choose investments that align with your risk tolerance, your time horizon, and your financial goals. That's where doing your research or maybe even seeking advice from a financial advisor could be really helpful.
So I don't have to like become a Wall Street guru?
No, not at all.
Overnight.
The key is to start small.
Okay.
Stay consistent and just gradually learn more as you go.
So just like anything else.
Exactly.
You don't have to be an expert to get started.
Yep.
Okay, I like that.
Now, as you're building this beautiful, sustainable financial future, remember to factor in something really important.
Okay, what's that? Joy.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Life is not all numbers and spreadsheets.
It's not. It's about living a life you love.
Exactly.
Make sure to allocate a portion of your budget for things that bring you happiness and fulfillment.
Yeah.
Hobbies, travel, experiences.
Whatever lights you up.
Whatever lights you up.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding that balance
Okay.
between financial responsibility
And enjoying life.
Yeah. Living your life to the fullest.
Absolutely. It's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about aligning your spending with your values.
Love it.
And creating a life that's both financially secure and deeply fulfilling.
This has been so insightful. We've covered so much from like tackling that debt with those different strategy to like building this solid financial foundation for the future.
It's been great.
It has. And it really seems like the journey to financial well-being is a continuous process. It's not like a destination you reach.
You're always going to be fine-tuning things, making adjustments.
It's a journey, not a race.
Exactly.
Everyone's path is going to look different.
It is.
But with the right tools and the right mindset, anyone can achieve financial freedom.
Absolutely.
And build a life they love.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your expertise and your insight.
Pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this exploration of debt repayment and everything that comes after that. We hope you've gained some valuable knowledge, some inspiration to take control of your finances.
Yeah, absolutely.
And build that brighter future for yourselves.
Yes.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.